All right, so we're back here on another Couch Coach Live once again. Another one here. We here. We got what we call our family, our cousin. We always got our cousins. Shout out to our guys Jelani and the Hoopers. But we also got another honorary cousin. This is the holidays, so I bring our other cousin, our cousin Cool. What's going on, Cool?
What's good, man? What's good? Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Most definitely appreciate you for coming on this week, man. We got a great show lined up for everyone. We definitely got to talk about. Matter of fact, well, perfect timing because today it is early signing period for a lot of the class of 2022. Um, man, shout out to Prime Time, like what he picked up today. So before we get into Travis Hunter decommitting from Florida State and going to Jackson State, got to definitely bring in Maui in the frame. What's going on?
I made it.
Yeah.
What up, man?
What's up, man? I made it,
Yeah.
bro. Good to see you fellas. Need
Yes,
some
indeed.
smiles. How y'all doing?
Good,
Can't complain, man.
Maintaining, brother.
Right.
Maintaining. Yeah.
We live?
Yeah, we here. Yeah, we live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
rock.
All right. So cool, man. Your thoughts on well, let me introduce the topic. Obviously, with Travis Hunter, he is the we talk about today is National Early Signing Day. So pretty much anybody from the class of 2022 can pretty much declare what school they're going to. You know, back in the days used to be that first Tuesday or Wednesday in February, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now times have changed.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to show my age, but there was a time back in then. I let you guys do the math on that. But
Well, bruh, your beard is telling a little bit of that too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. So yeah, and oh man, it's crazy, but yeah. So obviously, Travis Hunter is the number one player in the class of 2022. Originally committed to Florida State. He Collins Hill, Georgia. He's the cornerback. He was, obviously, like I say, supposed to be at Florida State. Now he has, in a turn of events, went to Jackson State University. So the number one player in the class of 2022 is going to Jackson State University. He is going to Mississippi. So cool. Your thoughts on Travis Hunter going to Jackson State?
Big ups to Prime Time, first of all, because this doesn't happen if Prime Time ain't the coach.
Right.
What's great about it, man, is a lot of people are talking about Florida State, but they're forgetting that Georgia's really been after Travis Hunter as well, because he's a wide receiver and a cornerback. He projects as a cornerback in college, but he's got hands and can play wide receiver as well. So Georgia was after him hard, but he would never flip from Florida State to Georgia, no matter how hard Georgia came after him. So when you really look at it, Jackson State beat out Georgia and Florida State, you know what I'm saying, to get this guy. Very impressive. I have a few friends that are Florida State fans. So what they're claiming, don't have any proof of this yet, but what they're claiming is that there's a substantial national, a substantial NIL that's going to be waiting for Travis Hunter. And that's one of the reasons why he picked there. So we're going to wait and see if that actually comes some truth to that and what the numbers are. But I think it's great for HBCUs. I myself am an HBCU graduate. But the thing is, it's a perfect storm that made this happen. I'm not going to say everything because obviously I want to leave you guys things to talk about. But it's a perfect storm. You have a guy who was a successful Super Bowl winning dominant player that's able to go out and flip a guy who he is his role model pretty much. He wanted to go to Florida State because Deion Sanders went there. So you're able to flip that guy to come to your school. This happens because you have a kid that's a cornerback going to play with one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. Who else is better to learn under than that? It also happens because, like I said, champion, very well-renowned player, a lot of connections as well for Deion. And I think the biggest thing is for this to be duplicated, because a lot of people are out there like, everybody's going to come to HBCUs. You have to have that perfect storm again. You have to have a guy that was a former player in that sport, whatever the sport is, that at least achieved some success right? And then kids that looked up to them saw them on TV saying, "Man, I love to go play for that guy." I either saw videos or I saw it myself. So it's going to be hard to duplicate, but it can be duplicated. But it's a great step towards kids saying, "You know what? I'll take it. You whatever the reasons behind it, I'll take the HBCU over going, to the big D1 school." So happy to see that.
Yeah, yeah. Mal, your thoughts on
Uh,
Travis Hunter going to Jackson
um,
State?
I don't have as much knowledge as you guys, but I'm definitely looking at it as Dion. Is definitely shaking up everything, and being able to get this gentleman has I mean, he's been doing more than just this gentleman. Like, and I think that
Right.
as parents, it's like it's more to just the athletic part of it. I don't have exactly what Tomlin said about Claypool, but his statement broke a lot of things down about maturity and decision making and based upon what you do off the field and on the field. And I think Dion is probably one of the most perfect person because he had to do a lot. You know, he's a two sport athlete, and he had to make a brand. And everybody in some type of way when they play sports, they necessarily are trying to do that. And then be able to play with have a coach like that that understands what you're really going through as much. And then he's talking to you. The other thing is like he doesn't talk down to them. Also, he to me he even his sons like he wants them to shine. He was like, man, let them know you could floss a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just personality. He understands that. So definitely a player would want to be coached by somebody like that. You know what I mean? Um, but also my question to you guys, with do you think it's like me and Chris was speaking on players, college players being able to get paid, right? Do you think that this is also may help one of the reasons why a lot of people may go to those HBUs, HBUs, whatever? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what my question
Yeah.
is?
Hmm.
Like, do
And
you think?
oh yeah, and
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
to Cool's point, because I also heard that too. Like you said, I can't confirm nor deny it's a
Right.
$1.5 million bag for this individual. As I've
We'll
been
see.
told, we will see. There are some tea leaves that have happened today where that could be the issue. Well, not the issue, maybe one of the sticking points as far as that. But yeah, because like to your point where it's another opportunity where you got Dion in the fold that could give you opportunities like he has had before. He's well connected in a lot of in a lot of fields and a lot of businesses. So that's another kind of key issue where he can, because like you said, now it's not more so like I hate to say it like this, but sometimes because we always say what was the biggest difference between like a Power Five and like ACBU, we looked at the facilities. But now it's like if you're getting paid, does that really matter? Like you go to Alabama, you got this nice locker that looks better than the pros, and you got a wireless charger. But if I can go to Jackson, Mississippi, and can get millions of dollars for playing football, the the wireless charger in my locker is cute, but I'm getting paid. Like I can get that on
Right.
my own. So a lot of it now, the NIL, I think is going to definitely help spread the wealth amongst just like what's that? Master P's son is at Tennessee State, right? I think if my memory serves correct, he's at one of HCBUs, so he could
Yeah.
get that kind of money regardless of where he's at. He could have got that at Vanderbilt or anywhere. Like I'm just saying this in general, as far as from a Power Five perspective, he could
Right.
have got that pretty much anywhere. So yeah, this definitely I think the NIL definitely helps level the playing field big time.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Right. That's what's up, man. I'm actually happy for both of them. Um, you know, it's just, and then I think it's just more, man. Like you just want somebody who's going to respect you, understand where you come from. They put this thing into to the NFL sometimes where it's hard for a young man to come from a certain places just to be out there and play, and they some people don't understand where you come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think to play with somebody like Dion, regardless, or just somebody who understands where you come from, will understand every time when you walk out that door, your whole well being. And I just think that it's just best for him. And I'm hoping that more NFL players go out there and actually become coaches at some of these schools.
Yeah, I would love for not just the NFL, right, but also the NBA,
Yeah,
former
me too.
WNBA players going, coaching women's teams or men's teams.
Right.
College players, soccer players that play college or pro, baseball, all those sports, man. Let's
Hmm.
get some of those guys that go to some of these other sports, because at the end of the day, you look like me. You understand what it is to be me.
Yep.
Right.
You've been where I want to go.
Yep.
So I already have a built-in respect for you because you've been where I want to go. Right. So it's so many things, so many pieces that come together. I mean, there's so many layers to it. I'm thinking that NIL money is not going to be as high as these reports are. I think there's going to be something, right? Deion's
Yeah.
too well connected to not get this kid something, not necessarily have to do it directly, because this is the top player. So, I mean, for somebody to say like, oh, he only went there because of the NIL, he's a top player. He could get an NIL at any school in
Anywhere.
the country. So let's make
Right.
that clear first. So, maybe it's more than he would have got somewhere else, or maybe just a combination of things, a perfect storm of having the opportunity to get the funds there, being with Deion, being at a type of university where most of the population looks like you and can identify with you, being
Hmm.
a majority on campus instead of minority. Those things are important. And like I said, I went to HBC, so I understand that. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I like
important.
how I like how he brung the young lady who basically for PJ
Yes.
Washington's baby moms. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just funny, but it's actually extremely important because some of our favorite players be like, man, why aren't they doing this, or why didn't they make it? Blah blah blah. Then you find out later on they dealing with all this drama personally. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Ray
Yeah, he's
Caruth. Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing
Charlotte.
a lot. He's doing a lot for them to prepare them for life after college, right? Whether they go on
Mhm.
to the next level or whether they just come out and in the regular real world. He's preparing those
Right.
kids for that. And I can respect that. And the fact that he's able to say, well, will you come in and speak to my kids? We'll make sure you get, compensated for doing so. But you can give them a different perspective and help them know things to watch out for so they don't get trapped in certain situations. Because let's be
Right.
real, she trapped old boy. But at the end of the day, now she can go and teach other people how not to fall for it. That's a
Mhm.
positive. That's
Right.
that's something that's going to be live on with those young men in that locker room for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
That's why Chris did go get those wigs.
No, no. Because to me, I had a little adverse effect. To me, it kind of remind me of, and I hate to talk loud, but it remind me of the Chappelle Show skit with Tyrell Biggins with the career day. It's just like, it's like the finesser telling people how not to get finessed. It's almost just like the same thing
Right.
where he was telling go to Martinez and get the drugs, telling little 8, 9-year-old kids to go to Martinez to get the drugs. That's how I felt when
But if you,
Pretty Renner went to Jackson State.
yeah, but if you think about it though, who
Mhm.
better than to teach
That's
you how
true.
not to get finessed than a finesser,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because
Right.
Like,
somebody that's not a finesser can't teach you that, right? So you
right.
got somebody there that can teach you, like, here's the things to look out for, blah, blah, blah. Everything I tell you stays between us because you can't
He
mess
Right.
up
said.
my money, but I will tell
Right.
you guys, what to do.
He's he said, man, if I'd have heard if she'd have talked to me back in the day, I'd have saved $20 million. I'm like, yo, like,
For
Yeah.
real, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, I did. That was just interesting one. But yeah, I just think it is a interesting concept that interesting that Dion did get this, and he won't be the last one. I think he's gonna he'll be able to get like guys like you said. It's relative. Like he's a representative of me and where I want to go, and that's
Hmm.
big time. And then you just look at just all the stuff that he does behind the scenes, like just a part of being in the community. I see,
mhm.
I know before, when he took the job, he goes to people, to these dinners around in Mississippi and all that type of stuff. And he's the kind of guy, especially as a parent, you got to think to yourself, my goodness, like I would, out of any coach in America, I probably would want my son to go to Jackson State because I know at the end of the day, it's more than just football with him. It's about life.
Yeah,
He's gonna learn life lessons that goes beyond. And no, it's no shade to other coaches that are in, but
yeah,
he's
man.
gonna
Like
he's gonna Yeah, so he's gonna be able to, like, if I'm just saying an example. If I had a child, if my son was going through a rough patch at school, homesick, or whatever, I know he could go to Dion's office and he could talk to him.
Yeah.
And so even though I can't, as a father, you can't be there, obviously, but I know he's gonna be the next best thing when it comes to a father figure for my child. And that's for anybody. Just imagine a father. Just imagine, if you were a single parent, like if you were a single mom. That's one of the things I want my son to go there, because he has that father-like influence. And then you just think about his own sons who had D1 offers, they had D1 opportunities, and bypassed those. Yeah. So that speaks volumes to me. Like normally, especially nowadays, when it comes to discrepancies between D1 and like Power 5 conferences to go into ACBU, it's like almost like night and day. It's almost like it would have been unthinkable at the time, But yeah.
Man, like congrats, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, man. But like you said, I remember those days when you just, it was just in February. The signing day was in February, and and all that type of stuff. So yeah, that's show my age. I show my age. Hey,
I do too. I do too.
Yeah, so you remember Lorenzo Booker? Remember the running back that used to say, so he came out. That was the year I came out of high school. So that was in 2002. So I remember that signing class. I remember all those guys. I think it was Vince Young was in that class. So it's always funny to look at these national signing days. And I remember the one from 20 years ago, like it was not yesterday, but in theory,
definitely not like 20 years. It feels like just recently,
correct.
right?
Maybe like 5 years ago, maybe. But Lorenzo Booker. I think it was like Elson Brown. I think he went to like UVA. It's crazy. I still remember the ones from class from 2002. But yeah, man. That was a special time. So,
but one more thing. I know you got to go on, but I feel like marketing the whole situation even before Hunter gets there, I think Dion is doing a great job. Like his Instagram game is crazy.
Yeah.
Like you have to shout out the fact that he actually, I was actually on Instagram one day. I followed Dion. He went live and he was like, "I'm going to," I forgot the name of the high school. "I'm giving somebody a scholarship before I leave. When I leave,
I remember that
somebody getting an offer." And I'm like, man, that's just amazing that somebody would actually do that, right? That's just amazing, man. It's crazy.
Right. He just give you an opportunity, just off the strength, just going in and you seeing them. Like you said, yeah. Oof.
I also think that he making everybody else have to step their game up.
Yep.
Yeah. And you see what's going on now. And actually, you look at now the trickle effect of even all this coaching carousel that we've had in college football. I wouldn't say it's a tribute necessarily to Dion, but it's to a point where, hey, we're trying to make a big splash. Hence, now you look at these, like these coaches kind of leaving in the dead of night 2 weeks ago because of situations like now where we had an early signing period. So they had to get a jump on it. So, yeah, so shout out to Brian Kelly. The fairy godmother did come to him. So, we all want a fairy godmother. Not just for Christmas, but just in life. So, so
he definitely secured the bag, as we say.
Right. So I'm gonna have that Brian Kelly energy forever.
Hey, and tell him, if he need a chef or something, I make a mean soup.
Yeah.
Cut the bowl of sausage in the jar. Warm you right up.
So fellas, last night we were